Today, I'm going to talk about the one cost you have to cut in retirement. You've probably been told cut out lattes or cut your streaming service. Maybe someone told you to downsize your home. In fact, I talk about that in one of my videos, or to stop eating out so much. But there's one cost that nobody talks about, and it's the one that wrecks more retirement plans than any cost you can imagine. So today, we're going to talk about this cost and how you can avoid it. But first, my name is Kevin Long. I'm a certified financial planner, and this channel is dedicated to helping 1 million people retire without worry. So what is this hidden cost that's destroying retirement? It's uncertainty. And here's the thing. Uncertainty doesn't show up on your monthly budget. You won't see it listed next to your grocery bill or your utility payment. But I guarantee you it's there and it's costing you, because uncertainty leads to three major problems. First, it causes oversaving and underspending. You end up hoarding money you could be enjoying. Second, it creates constant stress and second guessing. Every financial decision becomes a source of anxiety. And third, it causes you to miss opportunities to actually enjoy your life or enjoy your retirement, which is the whole point of retirement in the first place. Let me give you some examples of what this looks like. See if it sounds familiar. Picture this. You're 68 years old. You saved well. You have maybe $1 million in your 401k, but you're scared to spend any of it because you're terrified your money won't last. That's the cost of uncertainty. Or how about this? You want to take the family on a trip, something you've been dreaming about for years, but you delay it because you're unsure about how it's going to impact your taxes or whether you can really afford the trip. And so another year goes by and you still haven't taken that trip. Here's another one I see all the time. You keep everything in cash because you're worried about market volatility. You think you're being safe, but inflation is eating your money alive. That's uncertainty, driving you to make decisions that actually hurts your financial future. Does any of this sound familiar? So here's the good news. Uncertainty is solvable. Unlike inflation or taxes, this is something you can actually have control over, at least somewhat. Anxiety is always going to be there in the back of our head, but we can begin to make some different choices and begin to have some control over it. You can cut or at least reduce uncertainty with a 5-part framework. We actually call it the Foundry Framework. This is the exact same framework that we started using with our clients. And so today I'm going to run you through the framework that we use. First of all, you need to give your money a purpose. What do you really value in life? Is it a sports car? Is it more trips with your family? There's not a right or wrong answer, but you need to decide what you actually want. Do you want to die with zero, or do you want to leave a giant pile of money for the next generation, right? What do you want to do with your money? And that's the most important thing, because it makes the other decisions around spending much easier. So first, give your money a purpose. Write it down. If you're married, talk to your spouse, but figure out what it is that you want in retirement. And then once you've figured out what you want to do with your money, second, you need a clear income strategy. You need to know exactly where your retirement income is coming from. Social Security, pensions, IRA withdrawals, whatever it is. And then you also need to know things like, is that income inflation protected? What's going to protect you against inflation? And then once you have all those sources together, then you can answer the question, how much can I safely spend? This is why we use a dynamic income strategy as a firm. We use some software called Income Lab to really help clients know how much they can spend during the good times, but we can also let them know how much they're going to have to cut their spending if we have a significant downturn. And this allows you to decide if there's room for the splurges you want to make. And it also gives you freedom to spend. Third, once you know what you want to do with your money and you have an idea of how much money you can spend, then the next piece is having a clear plan for your portfolio and making sure that the portfolio supports both your long-term goals or what you want to do with the money, but also support your income needs. And honestly, calculating the second step and the third step are collaborative, right? They need to be done together. So you need a clear plan of how are we going to allocate these resources. This is why we use a bucket strategy, right? We have a certain amount of money in cash. We have a certain amount of money in short duration bonds and a certain amount of money in intermediate bonds, and then the rest in a globally diversified equity portfolio. And the reason we build a portfolio around a bucket strategy is it protects your spending during a market downturn, but also allows you to protect yourself against things like inflation and be able to support your long-term goals. And so you want to make sure you don't just pick an off-the-shelf 60-40 portfolio because you read in an article that's what retirees need to have, but you want to make sure that you've tailored that portfolio to support your income needs and also your long-term goals. Fourth, you need clarity around your tax plan. But before we can decide our tax plan or before we can develop a tax plan, we first need to know how are we going to spend the money or what do we want to do with the money? How are we going to invest the money? What buckets is the money in? And then we can begin to create a plan. And often that plan means we're going to pay more taxes today to avoid taxes in the future. But the point is being able to control the tax rate, right? So if we can control the withdrawals, we can control the rate we get taxed at rather than it being forced upon us later in life through RMDs, which then cause a whole other host of issues. So we need to understand how our withdrawals are going to be taxed so you can plan accordingly and avoid nasty surprises. And if you do this right, and we've shown this in other videos, but if you do this right, you can significantly reduce your lifetime tax bill and also the tax bill for any heirs that may inherit your money. But before you can have clarity around your taxes, you need to have a plan that includes all the various elements. What are we going to do with this money? Are we going to donate it all to charity? If we are, then we don't want to do Roth conversions. Do we want to leave a large nest egg to our kids? Well, then we're going to be very aggressive about Roth conversions. Are we going to die with zero? Well, maybe we could take out enough each year. We're really pushing our withdrawals. We might be able to take out enough each year that maybe it doesn't make sense to do large Roth conversions. So once we're clear on what we want to do with the money, then we can get clear on the tax plan. And fifth, you need to evaluate risk and put it into the plan, because otherwise risk, the unknown, becomes a giant albatross around your neck. Name the fears, put the risk on paper, and then plan around them. I find that the fear of the unknown is one of the biggest reasons that people underspend and they don't enjoy the retirement. So put those fears on paper. Is it long-term care cost? Is it market volatility? Like, what is the thing that has you concerned? Put it on paper and then plan around it. And you can't mitigate all risk, but you can often transfer it and you can prepare for it. So make sure you take some time to plan around risk. And when you have these 5 things in place, something amazing can happen. You can begin second guessing every financial decision. You now have a framework to make those decisions within. You can stop losing sleep over market volatility because you already know what's going to happen to your spending plan if there's a large market downturn. You can actually begin to enjoy your retirement instead of just surviving. Now, I have to be honest. This is much easier said than done because you've spent your entire life saving, and it's hard. It is hard, no matter how great your plan is, to switch to spending. The other thing is there's something in the back of our brain, the fight or flight part of our brain, that when the market crashes, no matter how great your plan is, you feel a little bit of panic. That's normal. That's human. But what I found is that when that part of your brain springs into action, if you just go back and revisit your plan, like, oh, we planned on something bad happening. I tell my clients this all the time. I don't know a lot with certainty about your retirement, but I'm pretty certain there's going to be a giant financial crisis. And it's always from something new. We never know where it's going to come from, right? Whether it's, 9/11 or it's the COVID crisis or it's the great financial crisis. Each time it feels different. And each time during the middle of the crisis, it feels like this may be finally the thing that sinks us. And the people who survive and the people who thrive are the people who have a plan, who say, look, we've planned for this. We have some cash set aside. We designed our portfolio for such a time as this. And what I've learned after helping hundreds of people retire is that in retirement, confidence is the real return. When you know your plan and you trust your strategy, when you have clarity about your finances, and then you're able to focus on enjoying your retirement and not constantly refreshing your browser. I will tell you, the one thing that will destroy your retirement joy more than anything else is being in front of your computer or on your phone, constantly checking your browsers. Markets go up, markets go down, markets tank, markets soar, right? And what you find is you end up in this roller coaster. You feel great when the market is up, and then you feel down when the market is down, even if you're still up overall, right? We're humans. We go on this roller coaster ride. And so the most important thing you can do if you want to really enjoy your retirement is create a plan, stick to the plan, know your plan, and then stop checking your portfolio every day. Check it once a quarter, check it once a year. I mean, I rarely ever look at my own portfolio, which is funny because I watch clients' portfolios all day long. When you have this plan and you focus on the plan, that's when you can begin to really enjoy your retirement. And if you want a fast way to destroy your retirement joy and you want a fast way to cause yourself to be stressed, sit around watching CNBC. Put an app on your phone with your portfolio and check it constantly or keep refreshing your browser, right? Because I will tell you, the market is going to go up and the market's going to go down. The market's going to soar and make all-time new highs, and the market is going to crash. And if you find yourself getting caught up in that cycle, if you get caught up in that noise, you're going to be constantly anxious about your money and about your retirement. Is this it? Is this the time it's not going to work? I mean, we just came through this with the tariff crisis, right? We saw incredible movements in the market, and it caused a lot of stress and a lot of uncertainty. But the people who survived the best were the ones who knew they had a plan, and they just focused on enjoying their retirement. So let me ask you, put it in the comments below, what's the biggest source of uncertainty in a retirement plan? And if this resonated with you, if this video resonated with you and you're looking for a financial advisor, I would love the opportunity to work with you. You can use the link in the description below and see if we're a good fit. And if you're asking, can I retire? I've got a whole playlist just for you.